I am wanting to introduce my partner. Her name is Maria. Maria, could you
Hi,
please introduce
everybody.
yourself?
Absolutely. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Thank you.
If you don't know any Club Manifest, can you request the box?
Manifest, could you please request the box? Oh, okay. All right.
I'm excited
While
for this topic.
while we're waiting, hi Maria, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Um, oh, I feel good.
I hear that. I'm praying for the same. Praying for the same. It has
I
been
feel
quite the couple
good.
days.
Yeah.
How's everybody else doing tonight?
Hey, how you
Hi, Patty.
doing?
Hi, Dom. Everyone, welcome to the show. Happy Sunday again.
Hey, how you doing?
Very excited for the topic tonight.
Me too. He
Other
was
than
like, I want to
manifesting
be on the
feeling
show. I
better.
was like, I'm lagging. Am I lagging, Maria?
No, not that I noticed. Am I?
Too petty, am I lagging? Oh, you might have to go out and come back in.
It happens to the rest of us, trust me.
It's okay. when So last Sunday I had asked DJ if he wanted to be on the show, right? And he was like, well, no, can I do it the following Sunday? I said, sure. I said, is there anything that you would like to talk about since you want to be on it next Sunday, which is today? And he was like, manifestation. Okay, cool. We will be talking about manifestation tonight. Whew.
I think that's a great subject, honestly. The verb and the adjective
Hello.
in
How
order to
you
actually see or
doing?
express something.
Right, right. Thank you. Yeah. And when I was in his live, can't remember what night it was. It was one night this week. Um, I made. He always asks me to say, my little tune that I say. It's okay to be okay. You are enough. So there was a lady in the stream. She said, "You, it's okay not to be okay. You are more than enough." I said,
I like
"Okay,
that.
too." So there you go, Miss
Okay.
Maria.
Sorry.
Club
Hello.
Manifest, welcome. Thank you for being on our show this Sunday.
Thank you. It's a
Can you tell
pleasure.
us a little bit about yourself when you stream?
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, I treat my stream like an actual nightclub. People could come in there and enjoy different types of music almost every single hour. And they also get to look up and take my request line number down, and they can request up to 3 songs per hour, depending on what type of genre of music that I'm playing at that hour.
That's great. You do this every day, every night?
Only Thursday through Saturday.
Okay. Awesome.
Hmm.
That's actually really cool. What
Yeah.
made you take the name Club Manifest?
Well, I always have been into manifestation. I'd have done my research on it throughout the years, and it just became a part of my life. So I said, why not put that in my name?
Is that what you plan to elaborate on tonight?
You said what now?
And is that what you plan to elaborate on tonight?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Well, the floor is absolutely yours.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie, like it's been a while since I've been on anybody's show lately. So still got that little butterflies in my stomach. But I'm gonna get through it. It's no big deal. Yeah. Hello, how you doing, Miss Fatty? All right. All right. Well, first and foremost, like me learning about manifestation, I want to say it took me many years. Like I want to say I really started learning about it through this documentary called The Secret. Now, The Secret basically was an introduction to about what manifestation is all about. So, whenever y'all get a chance, feel free to check out the documentary called The Secret. And but see, the thing is, when I first started off, like I was going through so many different trials and tribulations in life, and it's just that one night something had woke me up out my sleep, and it basically guided me to go over there towards the desktop. So when I went on the desktop and I type in The Secret, and then when I typed that in, it showed, so it gave me, it's like a light bulb clicked on the side of my head, basically. That gave me like awareness of what's going on and how everything in my life happened the way it did. You know what I'm saying? When I was in high school and grammar school and all that, all those years. So I did my little research on it, went through some seminars on it, and I had a pretty good experience, but what I learned is that how powerful the mind really is. Like, so many people underestimate the power of the mind. But the mind is, man, the mind is very, very, very powerful. Excuse me, let me go ahead and put this on silent because my phone be going off the hook. All right. Let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and just shut it off. All right. So yeah, so as I was saying, so I did my little research on manifestation. It was this. I first learned about it through this lady named Esther Hicks. She got a book called "Ask and It Is Given." So I studied a little bit about law of attraction with her, and I even went to one of her seminars when she came here in Chicago. Well, she came here in Illinois. It wasn't actually in Chicago, but I went there and I discovered. Thank you so much for the love. Appreciate you. I study her and everything, and how she, her take on manifestation, and it sounded good. It really did, but I felt like it was a missing piece to that puzzle. So I studied other people who knew about, what I'm saying, a manifestation, such as this guy who I studied called Neville Goddard. He was kind of like similar to a preacher, the way he taught it. And it was this other guy by the name of Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike also talked about manifestation too through the Bible. So I learned from all those individuals, and the one that stood out to me the most was Neville Goddard and Reverend Ike. So I remember one time I put the manifestation to the test. I think it was like I put it to the test on little things like pizza, for example. So I say, okay, well, if this spiritual law actually work, then I'm going to go ahead and put it to the test. So I sat down on the couch, I closed my eyes, and then I just simply imagine, a pizza right in front of, right on the table, right in front of me. because during that time, I didn't have pizza, that often, you know, based on how we grew up. So I imagined it, and then I went on about my business. And I want to say maybe a couple of weeks later, I came across this bus stop because I was on my way to the library, and this guy was like right there in front of me, right across the street, and there was a pizza, place right across the street as well too. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he was already eating his pizza and stuff, and he's like, hey, you want some? So he offered it to me. So I went on over there to where he was at. He took his little last slice of pizza that he was gonna eat, and he gave the rest to me. And that's how I found out like how powerful your mind is. So, and then I used, I used the power of my mind to manifest, jobs in the past and other type of opportunities as well too. So yeah, that's how I learned about, what they call law of attraction or law of assumption. So, well, but my question to y'all is, what does manifestation means to you?
I mean, that's a great question to us, but truth be told, I actually really want to know how you're continuing to use manifestation to shape your everyday life. You said there were specific things that you had gone through in high school that
Mm-hmm.
made you actually dive into um, the study. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. All right. So, so yeah, like I said, back then I was going through so many different, trials and tribulations. So, I want to say, I'm trying to think what year did I really, oh, it was 2019 when I really, really put it to the test. And I did it with a celebrity. Like what I did was like, I'm a big wrestling fan, for those who know me. So, it was this wrestler by the name of Undertaker. So I wanted to see him in person. Yes. And then for so long I've been, waiting to see him in person, but it never happened. So one day I was looking at this YouTube video. It's this guy by the name of Brian Scott, and he got this YouTube channel called Reality, I think it's Reality Revolution. And so basically he basically was talking about this guy by the name of Neville Goddard, which they consider as a mystic. So he said that basically how Neville Goddard manifested things was he took his sense of sound and his imagination and used that. So let's just say, for instance, like climbing up the stairs or whatever, like he put his, like he closed his eyes and he imagined himself climbing up the stairs, and he felt his hand touch, the banister of the stairs. And that's how he ended up, manifesting wherever it is that he wanted to go, or however like that. He also manifested himself being discharged from the army because he was also, was a veteran, and every time when his sergeant told him that he kept on denying him of his release, he just laid down in the cart in his bed, he closed his eyes, and then he imagined, and what he said was, he imagined he was back home in New York, and he was walking like barefooted on his rug on his in his room. So he felt how it feels like to walk on the carpet, barefooted in his imagination. And so he kept on doing that for a couple of nights, and then one day the sergeant came to him again and asked him, "Are you sure you want to be honorably discharged?" And he said yes. And then he finally granted for him. He finally told him, he gave him the yes. And then he was able to return back home in New York. So I took that sense of touch technique and I applied it when it comes to meeting the Undertaker. So what I did was I just imagined walking up to him, shaking his hand, and and basically just put a little bit of audio in my imagination, like how the crowd sounds, when they wait for the celebrity to come on out. That's what I heard in my imagination, and I felt his hand shake my hand, even though I didn't know how his hand felt like, because he's a big dude, but I shook his hand in my imagination, and then I went on about my business. So what happened was, a few weeks later, I got a notification on my phone that says the Undertaker will be here in Chicago at a specific place at a specific time. And I looked and I was like, what? Like to me, that was unheard of. And then I was like, wow, I can't believe it. I did it. And so I called the Ticketmaster place and I asked them how much would it cost to get his autograph. They told me the price. And I said, okay, well, what if I want to take a picture with him? Would it be okay? I take a selfie with him? They're like, yeah, but if you take a selfie with him, everybody else gonna want to take a selfie with him, and there's gonna be a long night for all y'all. So I said, okay. So she said, but for the photo op ticket, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pay this amount. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'll just get an autograph instead. That was me selling for less. So I'm also a part of this manifestation group. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Hold on. Let me finish telling the story first. So what happened was I went on to this manifestation group that I'm on Facebook. And I was so excited because I was telling them about my manifestation. And they were like, why are you selling for less? I'm like, what do you mean? You said that you want to get a picture taken with him, but why are you selling for an autograph? I said, because they told me it costs a little bit extra. And so they was like, well, it don't matter what that lady told you. Imagine getting a picture taken with him and watch what happens. So that's exactly what I did. And when I did that, fast forward from that moment till the actual event, and I was in line. I had just came out of line for, giving them my autograph, for them to give me the autograph ticket. And the lady told me that the Undertaker gonna be in the photo op section for a while. So if y'all want to go and grab some lunch and come on back, you can. By that time, he'll be ready, to sign some autographs. So I said, okay, cool. And then, my friend that was there with me, he was like, wait a minute. He was like, what do you actually want to do? And I said, he was like, do you want to get an autograph? Do you want to get his autograph? Or do you want to get a picture taken with him? I said, I prefer to get a picture taken with him because that'd be a good memory for me. And then he said, okay, well, get back in line and tell them how much would it cost for the photo op ticket, or could you get the photograph ticket exchanged for the photo op ticket? So I said, okay, cool. And so I went on, got in, I cut in front of whoever that was at the front of the line. And so I said, excuse me, miss, would it be possible for me to get a for me to get the autograph ticket exchanged for the photo op ticket? And so they were like, hold on for a minute, sir. Let me go check with my boss. I said, okay, cool. So they came back and they was like, well, I got good news for you. Like, not only you could get this exchange for a photo op ticket, but it will be for the same price that you paid for the autograph ticket. So it was a quick, swap out. Then I got in that long line, and I swear, I kid you not, my adrenaline was on 10. And my heart felt like it was going to pump out of my chest. So I had to really calm myself down. And then by the time I got there to the front of the line and I saw how big he is in real life, like this guy is huge, built like a statue. And so I got up there and I shook his hand, and then I was like, man, I can't believe it's you. So it's like a dream come true. He like, yeah, it is like a dream come true. And so he went on and he did his little signature thing with the way he tell you like rest in peace and all that type of stuff. If y'all Undertaker fan, and they snapped the picture. And then after that, I went in line for the photo to get developed. I met so many other Undertaker fans that I never knew existed, and I was looking for my photo to be raised up, because that's how you claim your photo with with the celebrity. So what happened was I was so busy interacting with the other Undertaker fans, somebody had spotted my picture with the Undertaker and they brought it to me. Yeah. And ever since then, I said, you know what? This manifestation thing is for real. I'm going to go ahead and use this in all aspects of my life. Now, I remember someone said they want to see a selfie. Hold on for a second. I'll be right back.
I would like to thank you all for coming out to You Already Know. The topic tonight is manifestation.
There we go. Whew. All right. So here we go. This is me and the Undertaker right here.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
nice photo.
Yeah. Mm.
That's very, very nice.
Yep.
Now, did you shake his hand? Are you shaking his hand in that photo?
No. He just got his hands around my neck, you know what I'm saying? I mean, back of my neck, and
Mm-hmm.
he doing his little signature thing that he does when he get ready to pick up a wrestler and dump him on their head and pin him 1, 2, 3.
So the manifestation of touch brought it to be real for you here.
Yes, indeed. So that's when I learned that your five senses doesn't only have to be used on the outside in the physical world, but you can also use it on your inner world of your imagination as well too. Because
Do you do any meditation this way? I mean, how do you get yourself centered enough to manifest on a daily?
well, what I do is like I don't really like sit. I don't do like how the average person does when it comes to meditation because it's kind of hard for me to sit still for a very long time. So what I do is like sometimes if I got like a few minutes, I just close my eyes and whatever that I would like to, manifest, I just ask myself this question right here, like, how would it feel for me to manifest so and so? And then I'll say, how would I talk? How would I walk? What would I see? And what would I hear? That also implies that I manifested, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the answer shows up, and then I automatically either I use my sense of sight and imagination, I see with my inner eye, or I see, or I hear with my inner ear, So let's just say, for example, okay, and I've done this before too. Like if I want to manifest getting a job or whatever the case may be. So what I would do is I would sit still, I would close my eyes and I would ask those same questions. Thank you so much. And I would just simply, I would imagine my phone ringing. My phone ringing, I'm picking it up and they telling me, congratulations, you hired, when can you come in? That's what I did before too when I manifested working at FedEx at one point in time. I did that. Back then I was working with a government phone. so so I can't
All
you
right.
just sitting down, just chilling, and all of a sudden my government phone rang, and then it was people from FedEx, and I imagined that. I imagined that my phone was going to ring one day, soon, and then it's going to be FedEx on the other end of the phone call, asking me when can I come in to start work, and that's exactly what happened.
Now, a lot of
So
people can associate the idea of manifestation with either hope or belief. Do you feel that way at all? It's considering you practice it regularly?
yes. What I found out is everything is connected to our belief system. The reason why we do the things that we do the things the way we do it, act the way we act, and react the way we react is a result of our belief. Yes, that's true too. But in
Right.
my belief, I believe God lives inside of us. That's what I believe. I don't believe in a God that exists outside a man and woman. I believe God exists inside of us. Yes, exactly. So yeah, so one thing that I learned about the mind is the mind really doesn't know the difference of what's being imagined and what's actually happening in real time. So there's a such that see the mind has I think two different parts. Right. Exactly. So you have the conscious mind and you have the subconscious mind. Now the subconscious mind is running on autopilot, every single day. The subconscious mind controls the breathing and everything that you do on autopilot. So how the manifestation works is that you taking your conscious mind and you are kind of like impregnating it with your ideal, your ideal desire. so to speak. So I think of the subconscious mind like a female, you know what I'm saying? And the conscious mind is the male. So the conscious mind impregnates the female, then you give birth, and then you give birth to your desire. So yeah. So
Yes,
yeah,
welcome
it
to You Are Enough. Happy Sunday. Today we have Club Manifest and Sip. The topic tonight is manifestation. Mr. Club Manifest has just been explaining to us his belief systems and his
mhm.
practice of manifestation, in which he has been doing for quite some time now. Um,
Hmm.
how long exactly have you been studying, and what other studies have you incorporated? I know you said there's a couple of people that you have looked into for your practices, and certainly more interested in
Okay.
hearing about that.
Okay. So like I said, after I started off in 2019 to really dive into it. You know what I'm saying? But I've been listening to so many teachers over the years. Okay, you have I already mentioned Esther Hicks, who channels this being called Abraham, and Neville Goddard, Reverend Ike. Let's see who else. Who else? I listened to a little bit of Tony Robbins as well too. So, but it's like it's just so many to name. But I study up on a lot
Absolutely.
of people. Yes. See, I'm the type of person I take what resonates and what doesn't, I leave it where it's at. You know.
Well, you said you don't manifest like many. How often do you sit with yourself, sit and listen to your core?
Um, I do this every day actually. Yes, Florence Scovel Shinn. Yes, exactly. She came out with a book called The Game of Life and How to Win. No, The Game of Life and How to Play It. My bad. I think that's what the name of it is. Yeah, but yeah, I do this every single day.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you incorporate into your music at all or your work?
Oh yes, absolutely, I do. You know,
How's that?
before I go live on those days, I always I say affirmations like, like thank you for allowing me to have such a successful live stream. The right type of people came through, showed me nothing but genuine love. I always receive genuine love from all the, from all from all the genuine people. And and I just sometimes I start off with an affirmation and then I go live and then stuff just happens to me, you know what I'm saying? And that confirms my affirmation. Hmm.
Anything more recently?
Um, let's see. Recently, I'm trying. Hold on. Let me think on that real quick.
And Patty, you're more than welcome to join the conversation if you like. Anyone else?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it was you know what I'm saying. Basically, with my games that I do on my stream called Lucky Number Seven Dice Game. So sometimes sometimes I be feeling like I be charging a little bit too much for the entry, and then I say, wait a minute, and then I had to I had to bring myself back to to the center place again, and I say, you know what, it ain't the fact that I'm charged too much, it's my belief, and my doubt in my capabilities of running this game. So I start to affirm the total opposite. And I say, people love to participate in my Lucky Number Seven dice game. They can't get enough of it. So when I start to say it that way, I feel much better about it. And then next thing you know, sometimes I ain't even got to tell nobody about it. They ask me if I'm doing it on that night, and all I got to do is say yes, and they just get to throwing.
That's great. I mean, we're big believers, both Real Sister and I, of affirmations.
Mhm.
Certainly, certainly read them on the show, talk about them often. For you, do you have any that you regularly say or repeat to yourself before you
Yes.
wake up, before you go to bed?
Yes, I always say I am blessed, all is well. And I always, when I start my day off like this, I say to myself, today is one of the best days of my life.
Mm,
That's right.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And a real sister has a whole bunch for days too. We talk about it often.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
affirmation.
I also would like to touch on what Real Sister was getting at yesterday in my live stream when she said that. Did you say your doctor told you stop saying the word "but" because it leads to an excuse or something like that? Okay, so from my experience, and first before I go into this, I'm gonna give y'all a little quote that the late great Reverend Ike used to say. Basically, he said it like this: "You got to get your butt out the way." So he was very he was very funny in how he how he hold his lectures back in the day. Very enthusiastic, and so basically he also made this quote right here. He said, "The more you learn how to work with your mind, the less you had to work with your behind." So basically, what he's saying is it's mostly mental than it is physical. And once you learn how to, once you learn how to work the mental, the physical is going to be like lightweight to you, basically. Yeah. So on the other side of that word, but not only it's an excuse, but it's also a limiting belief as well. So, so you might want to, so sometimes you got to question yourself since this whole thing is based on belief system. So, but first and foremost, before I go into the whole belief system, what do you think a belief is?
Real Sister?
For me, a belief is something that you believe in and you want it to come to pass. I mean,
Okay. All right. How about you, Maria?
can I say something
Well,
else?
I think beliefs can be
Sure.
multiple different things. The true definition is really you can have different systems and
Mhm.
processes that you want to come to fruition, and that can come in different ways of manifestation. It's
Mhm.
really tied to one another, in my opinion.
Right.
It
Mhm.
does reside in religion if you have one, but also some people don't have a religion and they still have some level of hope. That is something that can push them forward or reserve them back. And to actually define it depends on the person.
Mhm.
So for me, it would be a little bit more complex to actually define what a belief is without telling you what my beliefs are. How
All
about you,
right. All
Manifest?
right. Now, what you was about to say, Real Sister?
Um, as far as believing, at first, everybody knows what I deal with on a day-to-day basis. So at
Mhm.
first, I was just like, man, I don't believe this is happening. And then I just started changing that into, okay, I can deal with this. The man above is blessing me. I'm having more faith now. I can believe that I'm gonna be all right. So,
Mm.
yeah, that when you started talking about manifestation,
Mhm.
I was like, I started thinking, before today's show, I started thinking, I was like, maybe I should take that and add it to what the doctor says. And when the doctor says this, and that over there is wrong with you, I can say, I feel good. I'm blessed. So yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna add that. Thank you. Because I was just
Awesome.
like, what? I was like, what can I use to counteract what the doctor is telling me? And then when you said you wanted to do manifestation, I was like, okay, I'm gonna speak it into the atmosphere that I am gonna be okay.
All
So
right.
that
All right.
every time when I go see the doctor and they give me bad news, I'm gonna say I am gonna be okay. So thank you.
Mhm. Awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So now belief. Okay, so belief to me is a word or something that you keep on repeating over and over and over again. That's what turns into a belief. So like growing up, we used to hear our parents say money don't grow on trees. It's, you know what I'm saying, life is hard and all that type of stuff. That right there was the beginning of your programming, you know what I'm saying, and to also believe in that as well too. Now, you know, as a child from the ages 0 to 8, your mind is not fully developed. So your mind is like a sponge at those ages, soaking up all the information around you. So you know what I'm saying? So whoever say, so you know, if you hear your mother saying something like that, your father saying something like that, whatever that's being said around you when you are at that age, you know what I'm saying, the child is picking up on it and it's programming them, you know what I'm saying, mentally. And now when they get up there in the age where their mind gets fully developed, they're going to start to live out those limitations, you know. But those were nothing but perceptions of, you know what I'm saying, perceptions of the mother and perceptions of the fathers, the way they perceive life to be, or how they perceive money to be. You know, one thing that I learned, somebody else's story doesn't have to be your story. You get to write your own story and tell it how you want to tell it. So that's why I don't really, you know, like if someone tells me something and I don't quite agree with it, I say, you know what, you know, let me go ahead and go off my own experience. But I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, for giving me a heads up, you know. So, yeah, so, you know, after hearing all those, you know, you then begin, when your mind gets fully developed, you go out into the world and then you go through similar situations that your mother, your father, you know what I'm saying, been through based on that belief that was installed into you at an early age. But the good news is you can also recondition your mind into believing the total opposite. Instead of saying life is hard, say, you know what I'm saying, life is wonderful. You know what I'm saying? You know, life is easy or something like that. Now, it's going to sound like you telling a lie to yourself at first, but with repetition, like they told us in school, repetition is the mother of all learning. It's the reason why they used to have us write lines on the board when someone misbehaved in the classroom, you know. But what they don't realize is when you put, I will not do this, you're actually encouraging them to do more of the same, you know. So if you really want them to, you know what I'm saying, to behave, take the not out of the sentence and put whatever it is that you want them to do. Say like, you know, I will behave, you know, like, you know, something like that. Another example is, you know what I'm saying, how those protesters, how they get to marching and they say, stop the violence. Have you noticed, no matter how many times they hold up their sign and say, stop the violence, violence is still occurring in the world. So, but if you were to take that and flip that around and hold up pro-peace sign, then that could make a big difference. Because even though you know what I'm saying, you know, even though you know what I'm saying, you holding up that sign, stop the violence for the greater good, you still got your focus and your attention on violence. And whatever you put your focus and attention on grows. You know, that's why you create more of the same. So I remember Neville also said there's a difference between resisting evil and renouncing it. So that's an example of resisting evil right there. When you saying stop or I won't do this, you're resisting, and whatever you resist, you persist. So, but whatever you turn your back on withers and dies. It loses its energy once you take your focus and your energy off of it. So instead of them focusing, instead of them saying stop the violence, they can still start holding up pro peace, and that could create a difference in their community.
Okay,
Why do you think
okay.
a lot of people haven't developed this belief system themselves?
I mean, you know, it was probably based on their upbringing. You know, they probably, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, just like some of all of us been programmed to do certain things, say certain things, you know, but they don't realize. That's why I say that there are a lot of people in the world that's in denial of their own power. They don't know what they're doing when they do these things. They don't know what they're doing on an unconscious level when they say those words, when they hold up those signs. So, but the thing is, I believe each and every single person have their own time of their spiritual awakening. So one way or another, they're gonna wake up and smell the coffee in due time.
That's so true.
Mhm.
There. When was
Hmm.
your first spiritual awakening, real sister? Do you remember?
Um, hmm. Well, it was when, I grew up in a saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost filled home. So I would have to say, gosh, it was when I turned like 10. I kept playing and playing and playing when I was going to church. And my mama always told me faith without works is dead. So I just kept playing and playing. And the next thing I know, I joined that side over there. I got saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost filled. And it's just sometimes I feel that this journey that I'm taking is kind of in vain. Then when I think about the gratitude and the affirmations, I just I get jolly. I mean, it's just hard. It's real hard trying to be positive. So I am it's been a long journey, a very, very, very long journey. So I'm gonna continue it and I'm gonna press on.
All righty. Now, I want to piggyback off of what you just quoted right there. Faith without works is dead. Now, in my opinion, so many people underestimate works in that sentence. Most people believe that works is all about physical action, but it's mostly mental. It's mostly mental. 95% mental and maybe 2 or 5% physical. So, like when it comes to manifesting a thing, you first have to be there mentally. You be there mentally. Every single thing that's around you right now, you manifest it because you imagine it. You imagine it. Like, for example, you could walk into a furniture store, which my mother did, by the way. And I'm going to tell you, she manifested her some furniture. Let me tell you how she did it. So I remember one time when I was telling her about manifestation, and she said, like, I don't know when it's coming, but I can imagine, what I'm saying, a furniture set in the living room, right? She used to always visualize a furniture set being in her living room at the old apartment. So what happened is that after, after her, my grandmother had passed, there was some money, that the family had split it. And with that money, it allowed her to go into the furniture store and said, I want that furniture set right there. And she told me that the person who she went shopping with at that furniture store looked at her as if she won the lottery. Because like she claimed it. She pointed the furniture out that she wanted and everything. And all I know is maybe about a week or two later, those people came and pulled up in the truck. They hauled that furniture on in through the door. And I was like, wow, you actually did it. She, what I'm saying, like she also, I remember listen, let me tell you something. Another one I want to share with you is I remember one time we was on the verge of being put out in our old apartment. And it was during a time where I was working at FedEx. They had let me go, unfortunately. And we just didn't know how we was going to come up with the rest of the rent money. And so I told my mama, listen, why don't we just try this? And so I told her to grab my hand and we sat there, we closed our eyes. And I want you to imagine how would you feel if we didn't have to move, if we came up with the rent money. So I did my little imagining, my you know what I'm saying, my imaginal work, and she did her imaginal work. Now I want to say maybe a couple of weeks later or a few weeks later after that, money started coming out of nowhere. It started coming in from different sources. From people, from some members of the family, and then from the lady who she used to work with when she used to do daycare. So money just started coming out of nowhere. And before you know it, we was able to maintain that apartment for a couple more years before we really decided to move.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Manifestation and prayer works. It does.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
She spoke that into existence.
Sure did. Sure did. Yes. Another thing that that I learned is, like, most of us has been conditioned, like, when we pray, is to beg God for something. You told in the scripture that everything has already been given to you. So there's really nothing to beg for at all. So my form of prayer, what I do is I just give thanks for whatever it is that I want, as if I already have it. And then I say that, and then I imagine the feeling that I will feel like if I had it. I use some of my five senses into my imagination and everything. Yeah. So you got to be very cautious about what you're imagining as well too, because sometimes we forget about the seeds that we planted yesterday that brought forth the harvest that we witnessing today. So you got to be very mindful about what you're imagining and how you're feeling on a daily basis, and you got to learn to condition your mind to think however it is that you want to think, because sometimes your mind tends to wander off and think other things. But you can discipline your mind to think whatever thought that you wanted to think, and which each and every single thought produces a feeling that comes along with it as well too. So yeah, it's all about discipline.
That's a really good point. Thank you, everyone, for joining. You are enough tonight. Happy Sunday to us all with Club Manifest, and the topic of tonight is manifestation. Certainly much appreciated. Thank you for your point of view, for your perspective. And is there anything you want to lead us off with as far as what your plans are for your next manifestation, what you're currently working on now today?
I don't really like to tell anyone what I got cooking up in my imagination. I just wait until you bear witness to it. Right now, I'm planting that seed, and when that seed comes to harvest, everybody will know.
What can you leave us with?
What I can leave you with, sure.
Inspiration.
Yeah, what I can leave you with is is this right here. Now, I know, going back to your situation, real sister, with your current, health situation. I know that as a child, we've been conditioned to believe whatever the so-called professional tells us about our health. But I'm here to tell you that doesn't always have to be. There's this other thing called revision that Neville talked about. Revision is basically like you taking the total opposite of what you taking what you heard, but you changing it into the total opposite of what you heard. So, for example, like you said before, like if a doctor tell you, that your blood pressure high or whatever the case may be, you can close your eyes and you can imagine and you can hear the doctor telling you, like, wow, whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. Your health is looking pretty good. You have a choice to accept what the doctor tells you is true, or you could go into your imagination and see it how you want to see it, and hear it how you want to hear it. And if you do that more often, the results are going to follow. Like there's this one guy who was wrongly diagnosed of a disease, and the guy believed the doctor that told him this. As a result of that, he ended up passing away. And then they did some examination on his body and found out later on that person wasn't even diagnosed with that type of disease. But due to audio suggestion, since we're already conditioned to believe whatever the doctor tells us, it was his belief in what the doctor said that actually killed him. So, nothing wrong with doctors. Everybody has a role to play on planet Earth. But however, if you hear any bad or sad news, you don't have to agree to it. Thank you.
That is so true.
Okay.
That is very true. Thank you for coming out to You Are Enough with Club Manifest. And we
Thank
have
you.
had a wonderful time talking about manifestation. I do thank you for coming out. And I have a gratitude
My pleasure.
statement for you.
All right. Let's hear
Grat-
it.
Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. It's
Woo.
okay not to be okay. You are enough. You are more than enough.
You are more than enough.
Love
I
it.
love that. I
Love
love
it.
that.
And once again, I do thank you for coming on the show and talking about manifestation because I'm being honest, I was really trying to figure out how, I'm a spiritual person, so I was
Mhm.
really trying to figure out how to add that into, my health journey. So I was just like,
Ah.
okay, okay, you got me on that one.
All right. All right.
It's a beautiful belief system.
Because
Indeed.
I just sit there when the doctors tell me stuff. I just be like, okay, thank you, and they just be like, everybody else
Not
we tell
expecting that
about,
response.
everybody else we
Hmm.
give bad news. They screaming and crying. I say I don't have nothing to scream and cry for, because the man above got the last. He got the last say so.
Mhm.
Indeed.
And I tell him, I say I'm fine.
Another thing too, real sister, is that whatever you want, God wants for you as well too. So if you want it, God can show you many more ways than one how it's already been done. You just gotta what it says: walk by faith and not by sight.
That's right.
Believe what you see with your inner eye and hear with your inner ear versus what you're seeing right here on the outside.
Mhm. Absolutely. I certainly can back and believe 1,000%. You feel it right here
Awesome.
in your soul, my love. Hold on to that.
Indeed.
Well, thank you all again. Thank you, sir. When can we find you?
Yes, on Thursday through Saturday at exactly 5 p.m. Central, 6 Eastern. And what I do is I have this thing called Affirmation and Gratitude Hour that me and Real Sister tag teams on. So she say her gratitude statement, and I finish it off with some affirmations.
She's the one, that's for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Well,
So
everyone, please Fave Club Manifest and check him out.
so I'm on from 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, all the way to 2 a.m. Central, 3 a.m. Eastern, Thursday through Saturday.
Right. He goes right into the morning time. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, I figure this. What's the sense of calling myself a club if I'm not open long like one?
You know what I mean?
Well, that's true.
I know where to go if I want to dance. And I've been wanting to dance
Okay.
lately.
And Digley, I tell everybody this is the most safest club you could ever come to. You ain't gotta worry about somebody put something in your drink. You ain't gotta worry about getting into no fights. You ain't gotta worry about getting stumped on, getting robbed, stabbed, shot at. This is the most peacefulest club you could ever come to. You're gonna enjoy yourself. And I always tell them, just think of us a club on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
As long as you got Wi-Fi, as long as you got the tag app, you can tune on in and catch some good vibes with us.
I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I be turning my phone up. I'll I'll push it back. I get in the middle of the floor and I dance.
Ah,
Well, I'm in
okay.
your live.
I see. Because
Oh, I
I know
appreciate
because
you,
the
Jai.
understand. Yeah, that's awesome. It's this lady that come in my live stream, and every time she come in my live stream, she start dancing, and her little girl start dancing with her. I like, you see that? I like, that little girl been here before. She know the sound of good music.
That's adorable. What a nice bonding moment too.
Yes.
Mhm.
Lovely bonding moment, listening to music with your children.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
music is very powerful, what I'm saying?
Very.
As a DJ, I'm starting to realize the type of effect that music can have on a person. A
Oh,
person can come in depressed because they had such a bad day. And then all of a sudden they hear me playing their favorite song. They forget what happened temporarily. And they just start getting up, they start dancing, drinking their drink or whatever, and having a good time.
absolutely. Music definitely gets me out of my states of depression for sure. I just got
Uh,
to get there to put on the songs that I want to hear. This is very
well,
powerful, honey.
for me, I start out with gospel music, and then I end. Some, for some odd reason, I end up in the all the other music, and I
Paradise.
just be, yeah. I, hey, it gets me through the tough times. It really does.
yes.
Beautiful thing. Very powerful.
Hmm.
Then my children, Mom, can you sing this to us? I'll play it for you this time. I'll sing it for you next time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
One thing,
again. Thank you, everyone.
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
One thing I was about to say is, like, I do believe in reincarnation. I definitely believe that this is not our first rodeo here on Earth. I believe we've been here time and time again. And when we see, what I'm saying, our children, liking something, or they acting like they recognize something, that's a sign to me right then and there that they've been here before. You know. So pay close attention to your children. They are awesome messengers.